Okay, we go live in what, 4 minutes? Just setting up the screens. Do, 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 do. Hope everybody's doing well. We go live now in 3 minutes. Okay, there's Discord. I'm a little off center, sorry. That's better. Let's step off to the side real quick. At 3 minutes, we go live. Oh, I was just looking. As soon as the song's over, it looks like we'll be ready to go. Got 2 minutes. Move my junk out of the way.
I want the cash cards, black credit cards, couple models, dog, please bend it far. Wanna hit the mall, fucking run up a check. Money's a matter, no disrespect. Don't play with a homie, I ain't for the net. Wipe the blood, clean the sweat, came out the mud, making profits. Was broke first, fill the pockets. White. Man on the moon like cartoon, didn't really happen. But the blow soon on the couch, dude. Where the fuck y'all napping? Bounce to the tune town, hit him with a boom pow, then go viral. Best you clowns are going down, I'ma watch y'all spiral. Hated or love it, I fucked at the budget, but stocks are creasing. I'm on a mission to fish, only when the rest is squeaking.
Breathe.
Had to map it out, California route, I'll be gone for seasons. Paint a picture now like a brush, you need a cannabis genius, yeah. Hey. We've been here before. Now it's time that I go. Hey. Yeah, we've been here before. This place I can't call home. This is out of control. Hey. Losing my soul, lose the approach. I gotta go. No way to save me, insane, fucking crazy. You think I don't know? Hey. Medicate daily, but rats they amaze me. Always run slow. Leave your smoke.
Experiencing the void, understanding yourself, knowing what lies beyond the natural. The veil thins, the mind wanders. The universe is connected to all things. Join us as the Mudutu effect is starting. only on SLE Radio at www.sleradio.com. Join us on Discord chat.
Well, I clicked my microphone a little early. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Mudutu Effect. This is Matt, broadcasting live from the Mudutu Effect. Yes, we're an actual physical location. Shock and surprise. But anyway, on previous episodes, I talked about symbols, and I've been building up to this. I'm excited. Um, been building up to the monads, how an image can provide an entire formula. So, and as we learn, a monad is not necessarily just a symbol. It's a mapping, a way to look into the consciousness, the universe around us. And unfortunately, as we have discussed, there are assumptions based on programmed nonsenses that have been around, been shoved down our throat either by media misinterpretations or individuals or groups trying to control through fear, and in some cases use media platforms to reinforce their agenda. So before I get into this topic, because on a previous one I talked about the John D monad, but I'm going to bring up one of the most controversial. I'm actually struggling right now because there was a song that I uploaded and I cannot seem to find it. So I may have to skip over this. It's not showing up. Nope. It's not here at all. So I'm gonna have to skip over this song. That figures. I'm gonna try. I'm just refreshing just to make sure. I double checked. I went through everything this morning to make sure, and nope, it's not showing up. So we're gonna have to skip over this great introduction song that I had come up with. I was all excited too. Hold on. Oh, no. I'm sorry. I had this all planned out. I'm sorry. You have to understand about me. I am a ridiculous planner. Every show is planned. Everything is outlined, and I do this almost several weeks in advance, and so I unfortunately do not see the song that is on here. I apologize, but yeah, I had so much planned for this. So anyway, well, that one's not going to show up. I'm scared to see what else. Such is life. We plan and then it doesn't show up. I got so many stories to go with that. Anyway, let's stay on topic. So, well, at least I have control over this because I'm doing this from the computer. So, nah. So I planned this out very carefully. I even have a script to go by. Dun, 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 dun. The earliest mention of this symbol dates back to July of 1098 and has records during the Inquisition of the Knights Templar starting around 1307. And there is much debate over this accusation, depending on which rabbit hole you want to go down with your research. So for popularity points, we will start in the 1800s with Eliphas Levi. Though nothing he wrote was an actual original thought, this is where the symbol gained ground in the eyes of popularity. Yes, folks, I am referring to the Baphomet, the Sabbatic goat. Wasn't that pretty cool? Anyway, so yes, we're actually still on the subject of monads, and I'm gonna, if you're not on Discord, I encourage you to get on Discord. I'm going to drop the infamous Baphomet Baphomet, depends on which region, culture, and who you really talk to. And I've dropped the picture into Discord chat, which, by the way, you can access it on the SLE site. You can go to the Mudutu.ca site, and it's on the post that I just posted on the Mudutu page on Facebook. So, the Baphomet. Okay, we see it everywhere. It's in the media. It's on my right arm. It's all over the place. I'd have to take my shirt off to show you, and that's not going to happen. So I mentioned that earliest known records of the Baphomet is in 1098. So there was a journal entry from the Crusader Anselm of Ribamont, and I quote, as the day dawned, they called out loudly upon Baphomet, and we prayed silently in our hearts to God. And then we attacked and forced all of them outside the city walls. Okay, in this reference, the term Baphomet almost sounds like a proclamation to me. I mean, versus a deity. But a proclamation of what? Or was this the correct spelling or translation? The reason for the deity contradiction is that Oxford University has found a contradiction to the name coming up over and over during the 1307 Inquisition of the Knights Templar. The university feels that the translation error is an error of Mahomet, which is the old French translation of Muhammad. And due to the many years of isolation during the Crusades in these different territories, is it possible during the Inquisition, before they were put to death, of course, they were proclaiming Muhammad? Whether true or not, it's up to you to decide. And I encourage you to do your own homework, because there are so many organizations out there that will utilize this as a tool to represent. I don't really come up with the right wording on that, but it's important for you to do your own homework. Research Mahomet and Baphomet. So I do want to squeeze in, since I didn't get my other song in. I'm so upset over that. I got to reorganize now, because I was flipping the server all over the place trying to find that one song. So I mentioned before on the previous episode about Kiberspassk from Russia. So they did a lot of throat singing and whatnot, but I wanted to play a different song by them. And here it is. That one's there. And to show you, they actually have a wide range of vocals, and some of it's over the top. But so here's Kiberspassk with, I'm going to try to pronounce this, Derevna. And the video is ridiculously awesome. So if you ever get a chance to look it up. So here's Kiberspassk.
А в деревне песни пели, а в деревне песни пели, а в деревне песни пели, молоді гуляли. А в деревне песни пели, а в деревне песни пели, а в деревне песни пели, пели і плясали. А в деревне песни пели, а в деревне песни пели, а в деревне песни пели, молоді гуляли. Пустынной улицы хожу, брожу средь голых стен без крыш, везде вокруг без людей, гляжу пустые окна, словно пеленой мертвый скрытый вдох, последний взгляд, последний шаг, последний, а вокруг курганами, могильными фундаментами. Сонно, плачет, скорбно дышит, злобно раньше пели и плясали, потом пили и стенали. Последний шаг,
последний, был последний, стал последний.
А в деревне песни пели, а в деревне песни пели, а в деревне песни пели, молоды гуляли. А в деревне песни пели, а в деревне песни пели, а в деревне песни пели, пели и плясали. А в деревне песни пели, а в деревне песни пели, а в деревне песни пели, молоды гуляли. А в деревне песни пели, а в деревне песни пели, а в деревне песни пели, молоды гуляли. А в деревне песни пели, а в деревне песни пели, а в деревне песни пели, пели и плясали. А в деревне песни пели, а в деревне песни пели, а в деревне песни пели, молоды гуляли.
Okay, that was Kiberspassk. I have a hard time saying that one. So I want to answer a question that's in Discord, and that question is: so the Baphomet we see here is pictures in Discord. You know where to go. And associate with today is actually incorrect to the original meaning and depiction as worship by the Knights Templar. Well, according to Oxford University, no, they were not worshiping the Baphomet. They believe that it's a translation error. And see, here's the thing: is a lot of times, and once again, I'm going to point out this is up to you to decide. But due to translation errors, they believe it's the Muhammad. I can't even say it. The Muhammad. So, which didn't actually have imagery. For years and years and years, they thought it was the Baphomet. Now, with that being said, the correct, as in Muhammad. So the Knights Templar, according to if you change the translation, were actually during their Inquisition and right before they were put to death, they're yelling out Muhammad. If that's the route you want to go with the translation from Oxford University, but let's start where. Okay, so you remember where I said that was in 1098. And the Inquisitions were going on in 1307. So the Baphomet didn't come around until Baphomet. Okay, give me a break. Came around until the 1800s. The actual drawing that is posted in Discord didn't come around to the 1800s by Eliphas Levi, who was French. He changed his name. It's an interesting background story to him, but like I said before, he Levi never wrote anything on the occult that was actually original, and he borrowed from many different sources to develop his works. And after he broke away from the Freemasons, uh, his rendition of the Baphomet has stayed pretty much so constant. And it was pretty much a lead in for the foundation for many other organizations and beliefs. Excuse me. So, yeah, I guess that's what they made the mute button for. So I'm watching the time because I have got a killer question for the password, so I just want to make sure. So keep that in mind. 1800s, the drawing that's in Discord and the most popular one that's floating around didn't come about until the 1800s. So this symbol, this monad, and I'll explain to you shortly why I call it a monad, because it's a formula. The whole thing is a formula. So keep that in mind when you're being told that, oh, it's ancient, it's, this, it's that, and okay. Let's focus on the formula of it, what it actually is. So I'm going to, I'm giving you the Cliff Notes version of Levy's statement. The goat on the front piece carries a sign of the pentagram on the forehead, which, with one point at the top, symbolizes the light, two hands forming the sign of occultism, that's the finger placement, and one pointing at the white moon, which represents chesed. This is Kabbalistic, by the way, and the other pointing down. The black one which is Garba. Now, also in most paths, it represents as above, so below. We mentioned that before with the symbols, with the hexagram. The sign expresses perfect harmony and mercy with justice. With one arm is male and one arm is female. The attribute, I'm skipping around on his notes because it is rather long. But I want to point out the key points in the symbol. The flame of intelligence is shining between the horns, is the magic light of universal balance. The image of the soul elevated above matter as the flame, whilst, there's a lot of forthwiths and the whilst and that in his writings, being tied to matter, shines above it. Let's see. I'm going to skip around on here because I really want to hit on the biggest thing that I'm going to bring up. Well, I'll just point out the rod standing instead of genitals symbolizes eternal life. The body covered with scales, the water, the semicircle above it, the atmosphere, the feathers following above means the volatile. Humanity is represented by the two breasts, and so you have a complete formula covering balance. And I think the key word here, and it's going to come up over and over and over, is with the attributes of mercy and justice. So that's not the description you were looking for. You're looking for, this is a satanic symbol. Well, we're going to get into that shortly, because believe it or not, it never changed. Surprise. Just a few of the attributes did, just because of modern times. So this about it go, the Baphomet. However you want to look at this monad, this formula, that's what it is. It's an actual formula. So I'm going to, real quick, I got so wrapped up in my notes, I forgot to get my next song lined up. I get excited about this. I used to do lectures strictly on the Baphomet and all over the United States. And you would be surprised at how many people get mad at me because I'm challenging the status quo, I guess you'd say. So I'm going to play a song by a guy named Filmmaker. And it's actually an interesting background of this guy because he wanted to do films, but he noticed that he had a talent for music. It's an independent artist. I think he's from Australia. I think I could be wrong. And name of the song will be "Outsider Warriors." So that was Filmmaker, Outside Warriors. And if you notice on the album cover, that you'll see that that symbol is actually called, what's called the witch's wheel. And it's where whenever sigils are made or whatnot, you use that to encode your magical workings. So I love that, yeah, because he's got all these little embedded things throughout all of his releases. So it is almost 30 minutes to mark. I got 3 more minutes, but I'll go ahead and bring up the password question. Yeah. This one's going to be a bit of a challenge. And honestly, I don't think anybody's going to get it. I don't think anyone's going to actually get it. Unfortunately, that just means I won't have to mail anything out Monday morning. Oh, darn. So you realize we've already sent out over $200 worth of prizes. That's, if you get this, I'm going to make it worth your while. This time I won't eat half the sandwich. I might take a bite, but anyway, here's your question. The question is, there's a guitarist from what I consider a legendary band that believed in Crowley's philosophy of personal liberation so much he even had Crowley's dictum. I said dictum. Jay, don't censor me. Do what thou wilt, inscribed in the runoff grooves of the original vinyl releases. Now, this gentleman is born January 9th in 1944. I figure I'd give you a little clue in on him. But to me, he's a legendary guitarist, ranging up there with David Gilmour and a few others. But he's, yeah. So, you know the drill. Pop your answer in on the Mudutu Effect Facebook page group for SLE Radio, and you'll see a announcement post, and you drop your comment in there, and you give me your answer. Who was this musician? I'll take his original name, which he really didn't change his name that much, but or his stage name, which honestly it really wasn't that big of a change. So I'll give you a hint if you want. One of his claim to fame was using a violin bow on his guitar. Okay, I'm stopping there. I won't give any more. So let's get back to the Baphomet. So we looked the Baphomet, the symbol itself, and I want to point out a few things about the symbol. Remember, I said Levy never came up with anything original. He worked with Mathers with the Hermetic Order, the Golden Dawn, on a lot of different concepts of it. He wanted to come up with the perfect image. Seems awful interesting that even Mathers is documented that Mathers challenged him for taking the image from the Devil Tarot card. I'm just throwing that out there. So we recognize that, even today, even though this is back in the 1800s when this image was produced, the name Baphomet, whether Muhammad or, however you want to look at it, the image, the formula didn't evolve until the 1800s and became popular. So the next time somebody comes out and says, well, this is my ancient heritage symbol, which I've heard, no, that's not the case. But let's go to the now. What about today? Aside from media and everybody else saying, well, that's evil. I got to say that right. Evil. It's not the case. Most occultists look upon this depiction as the perfect monad, showing true balance in all things. But there's been some changes over the recent years to the Baphomet, and I'm giggling because there's been some. I find the changes silly, but I can understand the point of view. The BBC did an amazing job interviewing Lucian Greaves with the Satanic Temple. And I actually really, really enjoy his responses to this. So, one of the things he says was it contains all these, in all things, these binary opposites above and below, part animal, part human, male and female, says Greaves. It embodies opposites and celebrates contrasts. Okay, well, that part really hasn't changed. Um, Now, when I'm referring to his responses. This is the changes that have happened uh, over time. So the goat's face has a neutral expression. It's not demonic, ferocious, or monstrous as people make it out to be. If you can look at it with culture without cultural baggage, I love that response because we tend to get so wrapped up in our cultural. I'm going to making a quotation. You know, when you see the archive, you'll see the quotation marks in here and me dancing and acting like an idiot. Um, but cultural baggage, that is a that's a strong word because that actually inhibits most people to do their own homework. Um, Also, he said, on the Baphomet stomach is a Greek symbol for the two serpents intertwined around a staff. The staff is carried by Hermes uh, and heralds in general. Um, it symbolizes trade, negotiation, reciprocity. Wow. And was co opted in the Baphomet of Levi. Now, so based off of just a few of his responses, and I have a lot more, nothing's really changed. No matter who you are, what organization you're running, you are looking at this as without the cultural baggage. You're looking at this symbol as a symbol of balance, a symbol of control. That's why it's tattooed on my right arm, my shoulder, actually. Okay, I changed it a little bit because I'm kind of a sci-fi geek, but the it's uh nothing's really changed so far. The idea behind it, and Greaves captured that beautifully in this interview with the BBC. So I'm going to, I've played some kind of upbeat music, and I know some of you are kind of late, so I want to calm things down a little bit. Yeah, just to Yeah, I'm gonna since ASMR was a topic on the morning show not too long ago. I'm just gonna talk like this for a little while and just relax, feel the music, know the Baphomet. Oh, sorry, I just really went off the rails there, didn't I? So, I'm gonna pop on. I played this a couple of shows ago. But it was requested that I play again. Snake Pit Poetry by Einar Selvik. If this doesn't calm me down, I don't know what will. I love this song. It's kind of long, but it's awesome. The song's not over. It's just a long delay. I love that song. I have guilty pleasure. I actually play that on loop sometimes. Uh, yeah, but let's get back to. And I want to point out, I'm using uh, Greaves, Lucian Greaves' statements from the Satanic Temple. because I want to, not as a recruitment by no means, but more of an education piece to show a different perspective, how some things have not changed. Um, I have multiple Baphomets around this building. The modern rendition, and I'll explain to you what the modern rendition is, and the traditional one. The meaning hasn't changed for me, although I'm not a fan of the modern rendition, and I'll explain to you why. Because uh, Levy's Baphomet was basically a hermaphrodite with breasts. It showed true balance between the masculine and feminine energies. And according to Lucian Greaves, they took the breasts, they removed them all, removed them. Uh, Temple did not want to get embroiled in the debate over gender, which might distract from what it believes are the most important messages of the Baphomet. Now, unfortunately, people, when they see the breast, would start going up in arms, and they put a statue up, for example. Yes, I get their point of view. It's going to be in a public place. They did not want to go into that, step into that battle of, you're putting up something obscene. It's natural. Get over it. But once again, we go back to that whole cultural baggage. So he also stated, you have this one sided vision of institutionalized religion as the arbiters of moral correctness. It prevents them from considering whether they could be incorrect today on issues such as gay marriage or reproductive rights. The torch of knowledge, now you notice on this statement, nothing's really changed with the Baphomet. The torch of knowledge is in the middle of the horns. It glorifies the pursuit of knowledge. We put a high value on it. It really, it's really central in their beliefs in general, says Greaves. As Levy wrote, the flame of intelligence shining between the horns is the magic light of the universal balance. The image of the soul elevated above matter as the flame wast, being tied to matter, shines above it. So the Baphomet is not, when you see it in movies, keep in mind that it's a formula. And with some paths and belief systems, it's a very valued formula. I know personally, I value it greatly because of what it represents. And as in all things that we do, we should be seeking balance, structural balance, mental balance, spiritual balance. Yes, there's good. Yes, there's bad. There's I hate these terms. I just did an interview with someone. And I really hate the term left hand, right hand path. But at the end of the day, you are the balance. So I made a meme, whoever. I've been corrected so many times. That said, when someone tells you that a symbol is evil, look at the person first before you look at the symbol. Because this is a discussion I just recently had. There are those that are so eager to find drama or negative things. Yes, there are negative things, but why actively go out and look for them? It doesn't matter if it's a symbol or going into a grocery store or getting gas or, I don't care what it is. If you are so eager to find it, you will. And the only person you got to blame is yourself. The Baphomet is not a concept to chase after to say it's evil. It is a concept, a formula to remind you of how your balance in life works. That's all. Nothing more. So I'm actually running ahead of schedule, and I actually ran I was sweating bullets. So I actually got time for more music. Sweet. Um, so with that being said, now I get to scroll through my music library and go, ooh, what do I get to put on? I wish I had gotten that Sea Bear song from Kiberspassk. Such amazing person, that band. So I am going to. I was listening to this earlier, and I played this a while back, and I also want to keep on the lighter side of music because hey, some of you are getting ready to go to bed, and I'm hoping my ASMR voice will do it for you, or other things. I don't know. Right? Keep your personal life out of this. So I'm going to. Yeah. I'm going to play some Myrkvior with Sagason. Oh, we got 10 minutes left. Hang in there. On camera. We have so many changes coming up. Got 8 minutes left. Okay, before I get into what's coming up and everything else, I want to drop this PSA because it's a perfect lead in to my next topic on SLE radio.
Ever wonder if that kid's head is supposed to spin like that? Or maybe those voices from the television? Don't worry your small-minded head about these things. I am Veronica, and I am with Babylon Industries, and we have just the thing to help your lack of ability to cope with things you do not understand. We bring you Sage That Shit. Sage That Shit is a revolutionary scent to help you believe you actually doing something to help. Remember, if it goes bump in the night, just sage that shit.
Okay, the reason I wanted to play that little PSA is because thank you, Jay, on the morning show. You got me all riled up on a topic that's the sort of subject with me. So I am going to be bringing up these showboaters. And I have like literally a living document. We do an episode, a live feed episode, and we did it for people during COVID times to kind of cheer them up. We're doing one tonight, actually. Um, I'm looking at the clock in about 2 hours, and on the Facebook page. And we did this. We do this for entertainment purposes only. Bring a smile to people's face during these COVID times. And now that we're in our fourth wave, especially here in Canada, so but I actually built a living document, and I keep track of all these idiots that are out there. You know, the ones that, for example, one of the topics I'll bring up, and I'll post the pictures and everything in Discord. So if you're not on Discord, I encourage you because I'm going to drop the pictures in there. If you're one of these idiots and you're making these posts and these comments, I'm sorry, you are going to be exposed. And that's what we do on the Perceptive Exchange. I'm going to be doing the same thing here because I'll give an example. Someone posted a picture, a simple picture. Hey, I was taking a picture of the moon and I got this distortion in the image. What can cause that? What setting do I need to change on my camera? And one moron pops in and says, I see a small child in the picture. Okay, these are showboaters. These are people that are so starving for attention that, and they also prey on other people. And I'll get into that in the coming episodes. Thank you, Jay. Allison is also as well thanking you for me pacing around, throwing my arms around, because that is a huge pet peeve of mine, of people preying on others as well as trying to get this whole attention thing for being a moron. So I'm actually going to give you real live examples of these morons. And now that we're through with the symbols and whatnot, and we're going to cycle all the way back around because literally on an hour show, I can only scrape the surface. So on the next episode of the Mudutu Effect, I'm going to be bringing up idiots on parade. We call it the Carnival of Madness on the Perceptive Exchange. But yeah, idiots on parade. They're everywhere. They're all over the place. And these are also the same people that are keyboard warriors, the self-righteous nut jobs. But I guarantee you, contact them and they want you $150 just to explain what they saw. So as always, it's been an absolute pleasure to sit down with everybody, and you can hear me rant and talk about symbols. And I was afraid it was going to turn, I bet you were afraid it was going to turn into a crazy geography lesson. But all the symbols and everything in the back history is important. Remember, a symbol is a symbol, nothing more. Don't let anybody tell you it's evil. Look at the person first when they tell you that. because they're the type of people that are all they want to do is look for negative things. We do have negative things in our life. We have positive things. Jared likes to call me, he's also with the Mudutu effect, who likes to call me Mr. Silver Lining. But it's imperative that you find balance in everything within yourself and your environment around you. So, with that being said, this has been Matt. I archived this, by the way, the video, so you get to see me head bobbing, dancing, acting like a moron on the YouTube channel for the Mudutu effect. And it'll go live at midnight tonight. So, much love to you all. Be safe. And until next time, this has been Mudutu Effect.
You wave your little white flag. You say I've had enough.
Hey, we're going to start closing things out.
It's been a little while now.
Let's see if anybody won the
Since you
prize.
call my bluff. Let's keep it simple, baby. I'll keep it simple, baby. Let me lay you down. You need a little downtime, just a little downtime, a little dirty downtime, downtime. No need to hesitate. Your sins are safe with me. Just wave your little white flag. No charge, submission's free. Let's keep it simple, baby. I'm bringing simple, baby. Let me lay you down. You need a little downtime, just a little downtime, little bit of downtime, downtime. Let's remember the first time, like a pair of jeans, I tried it on. Let's remember the first time, it felt so good to feel so wrong.
Okay, well, thank you for watching another episode of the Mudutu Effect. And until next time.